So the scientific method, who's heard of it? Yeah, and you know what I just realized? Nowhere in this page do I define it. Let's define it. What is it? We use it for science. Who believes in scientific method? Yeah. Who thinks we use it for other things? What do we use it for?
Like predicting what.
So the predictions are involved. You're right.
Experiments.
Experiments are involved. A hypothesis is like a prediction.
Educated guess.
You have an educated guess that you perform an experiment on to get an answer, right? Because at the beginning, you're like, I wonder if. So the scientific method, believe it or not, by definition, is the steps used to solve a problem. So go ahead and add that. If you want to add it to the next slide, we'll put it right here. Steps used to solve a problem. Every problem in the world uses the scientific method to solve. We're not going to try to test that right now, but I'm going to show you in a minute. Every problem you have in your life, believe it or not, you use the scientific method to solve. Okay? So let's go through the steps, and then we're going to talk about problems you have, and we're going to use the scientific method to solve it. So who can name me any step? It doesn't have to be in order, even though the order matters. I'm telling you right now, one of the first things you have to know is the order of the scientific method. Because I will ask you questions on the test that says, step 2 in the scientific method is, and you have to know, okay? So what's the order? It doesn't even have to be in order. Find your problem. So the first thing you're going to do is, you're going to make an observation in life, and you're going to question. I'm like, I got a problem. I wonder if. Hey, look at that. What would happen if I did that? So you're observing something in your nature or in your life, and you ask yourself a question, and you try to solve a problem. More. Yes. Gather the info. How? Okay, so you're going to do some research. So we're going to gather information. We're going to either do research, or we're going to use previous background knowledge or knowledge provided to you by me in order to be able to do what? What's next? Good. Create a hypothesis. Hypothesis is like a prediction, but it uses background information to create. So it's not like you're guessing something. It is, but it's educated. So it's something that has background information. What's next?
Experiment.
Good. We're going to create an experiment in order to test our hypothesis. Yes? You struggle seeing the bottom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What's next? After we experiment, what happens?
Look at the results.
Good. We're going to collect results. We're going to look at them, and all those are called data. So we're going to look at our data and our results. We're going to analyze it so that we could do what?
Come up with a conclusion.
Good. Explain it. We want to come up with a conclusion that explains the whole process. Hopefully. Observe and question. Okay? Usually the senses are going to be involved in order to come up with that. So you're going to detect something using your senses, which are hearing, seeing, right? We know that. And then you're going to develop. What are you going to do next? Sorry? Before you develop? Research. How do we research? By gathering evidence from previous experiments or findings or something. So you're going to go online, you're going to use your textbook, you're going to use me, you're going to use everything you can, even things you've learned without me, to gather enough information to be smart enough to be able to do step 3. Okay? So I saw something and I said, oh, I wonder if. And then I went and did research and I found out a lot of things about it. And now I'm ready to do what? Not yet. What's the third step in the scientific method? Hypothesis. I'm ready to create a what? What is a hypothesis?
An educated guess.
An educated guess. It must be in the form of a what?
Question.
No. So that is a statement. So it's a statement, not a question. We question something first, and when we're ready to say, I believe if I do this, then this will happen. I'm stating a fact. I think this is going to happen. It's a statement. It's your hypothesis, which is like a prediction with background knowledge. Okay? Because you could predict something just because you feel like it. Like, hey, I think this is going to happen. It's really not an educated guess. If you have background knowledge and you've studied and you've gathered information enough to come up with an educated guess, that's considered a hypothesis. Something else, a hypothesis, must be testable. If you cannot test your hypothesis, you did not create a hypothesis. So that's, again, where it's different from a prediction. I could predict something's going to happen, but can I test that the reason it happened was because of this? And sometimes the answer is no. What's the fourth step in the scientific method? Experiment. Now, an experiment is going to have three components. And I'm going to stop here today because then we're going to go and dissect these three components. What are they? What makes a good experiment? We already did research. We need tools. In those tools, we already created one.
Procedure.
We have to have procedures, okay? But I'm going to test something. So what do I need if I'm going to test something? Good. We need variables. We have to have variables. So I have to say, if I do this, this is going to happen, right? There's my if-then. Those are variables, okay? What else do I need? That's later. Hopefully. That's later. I'm still in the setup.
Repetition.
Good. Repetition is actually really good. But that happens after you've done the 6 steps. So you want to complete your 6 steps and then repeat. So we're still in the experiment. I have variables. What else do I need? Good. I need constants.
What's a constant?
I'm going to explain. So introduce, then explain. What else do I need? So I need to have constants. I need to have a variable. And I also need to have a specific group that's missing the variable. What do we call that group? A group that's missing the variable. Control group. Now, a lot of people confuse controls and constants, and that's why I'm going to stop here, and tomorrow I'll go over the 2 types of variables and what's the difference between a control group and constants within your experiment.